Hey, welcome back. In this video, we will learn about the form element in HTML. Before moving forward, what I have done, I have just got rid of the input submit button. Okay, now we are having only this particular button. So now if I just go here inside of the browser, and as you can see, if I just click on this register button, nothing happens. Okay, so why is that? And in this video, we will see how we can do something when we click on this register button. Okay, so we will discuss about the form element in HTML. The form element. The form HTML element represents a document section containing interactive controls for submitting information. So basically, the form element is used to group the information, basically the input elements inside of the HTML document. And also, whenever we want to submit our form and do something with the data which the user has submitted, we have to use the form element to group together all of the data in that case. Okay, so this is how the form element is very important. And as you can see, the form element is used by many of the common forms basically. So as you can see inside of the google.com, they are using a form element. There we go. So this is the form element. We are having some attributes, something like action, which is going to some sort of an URL, which we will see. Then we have the autocomplete, which is currently off. Then we are having the method, which is currently get. There might be many of the methods, basically like the 4 or 5 methods which we have, like the HTTP method. And then we are having the role, which is for the search. Okay, all right, so this is a basic form. Okay, all right, so we will create the form inside of our web page as well. So let's go here, and first of all, what we have to do, we have to create a form element. Okay, and hit enter. And inside of the VS Code, we are having the auto completion for this action attribute. I will get back to the action attribute in a moment. Okay, all right, so if I just save that, now if I go to my browser, as you can see, nothing basically happens, right? There is no visual changes or there is no element basically. So what we have to do, basically we have to go here and just cut the ending form tag here and paste it down here. Okay, hit save. Now as you can see, there is our inputs. So input for the username and the password, and then we are having the register button inside of the form element. Okay, all right, so if I just go here, now something different will happen. So if I just click on this button, as you can see, for a brief moment our page refreshed. Okay, and here now we are having some question mark inside of our URL as well. So what exactly happening? So basically what is happening, our form is now getting submitted, and the data which we are having currently right now inside of the input, the HTML form is trying to send the data somewhere, but because of the action is empty, the data is going nowhere. And also one thing to point out here is that we are not dealing with the form data inside of the backend. Basically, if you want to deal with the form data, you have to use a backend language, something like Node.js or something like Django, Flux, or some sort of other backend language, something like Java with Spring Boot and so on. So we are not doing that. Okay, so we will not be handling the form submission here, but we will just create the inputs and we will just see how we can use the form to submit the data. Okay, I hope that is clear. So now this is the action attribute here, right? So which is currently empty. So let's go to the form element and let's go here. We are having the attributes, and inside of that we should have attributes for form submission, and we are having the action attribute. So basically the action attribute is the URL that processes the form submission. Okay, so what we can do, basically we can just say like, hey, go to login for, or something like register. Okay, something like that. If I just do that and go here inside of my HTML, document, and if I just click on this register now, as you can see, we are getting to the slash register, and now there is no URL for the slash register. That is why we are getting like, hey, cannot get slash register. So if I just copy this one, so this is the URL where we are getting right now. Okay, so this is the URL. All right, so what we can do something funny here. So what I can do, I can just do something like https://example.com. okay, hit save. Now if I just go back and refresh, now if I just click on this button, as you can see, we are getting to example.com, which is awesome. Basically, we are sending the data, but there is no data because we are not grouping the data properly right now. Okay, all right, awesome. So this is how we can use the action attribute inside of our form. Basically, this action attribute says like, hey, this is the URL where the data should go when the form is getting submitted. Now, one more thing which I want to point out is that the button type is now submit, right? But if I just make it something like button and hit save, and now if I just click on this button, nothing will happen. So to submit the form inside of basically this form, basically we have to have that button type to submit. Okay, and also you can omit the type altogether. I think by default the button is by type submit, but I like to be more explicit about that. Then inside of the form we are having another attribute, which is the method. Okay, and here we can have many of the HTTP methods which we have, like the get, post, put, or something like that, delete, or something like that. So I can add something like get. Okay, so to get the data. All right, so we can do that. Also, there are some of the other attributes as well, which you can go to here inside of the form element documentation, which I will attach to this lecture. And as you can see, there are a bunch of things here. We are having the autocomplete as well. You might be seeing some of the auto completion for the data. So if you want to turn it on or off, you can do that by that. Okay, and as you can see, we are having another one which is very important attribute, which is the enc type. Okay, so what exactly is the enc type? Basically, whenever we are submitting the form, many of the times what happens is that we submit some sort of an image or some sort of a video as well. For example, if you are going to your Facebook account and you are updating your profile picture, then you are sending some sort of an image as well, right? So in that case, there are some of the values which we have to change. For example, here this is the application/x www form URL encoded is the default value. Okay, but if you are sending some sort of an image or something like that, then you have to change the enc type to multipart/form data. Okay, so I can just do something like enc type, and there we go. We can have text plain, or we can have this application form URL encoded, which is this one. This is the default one. But if you are handling some sort of an file, then what you have to do, you have to do multipart form data. Okay, so which it says like use this if the form contains an input element with the type of file. Okay, and text plain useful for debugging purposes basically. Okay, then we are having the method. So we are having the post, get, dialog, submit, something like that. Then we are having no validate as well. Then we are having the target as well, and so on and so forth. Okay, so there are many of the things inside of the form element which we can do. Okay, so basically whenever we want to group the data which the user inputs and we want to group the data to submit the form somewhere, we use the form element. And for most part, for most of the forms, you will use the form element to submit the form. Okay, all right, so this is the form element in HTML. Okay, awesome.